Hey, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Shareece. I help Black men and women heal from trauma and toxic relationships. And I wanted to talk about Kelsie and T Hood. So, Kirk's daughter, Rasheeda's stepdaughter. The story as it goes, as I understand it, based on watching Rocking the Voice videos, right? If you want like all the nitty gritty details, you can go to his channel. He talks about it extensively with like the videos and the messages online, social media stuff. So, apparently, Kelsie was in a relationship with T Hood, who has a history of being physically abusive in his relationships. And so, of course, because people are who they are across multiple settings, he was also physically abusive towards her. He engaged in aggressive behavior with her one day. And I think this hasn't been verified, right? I think because her brother also lives with her, they live together, right? I think their parents are paying for their home together. The brother wanted to defend her against this guy. That sounds like what's happened. And maybe he defended her, got beat up, or maybe he just heard what was going on and told their parents. So her brothers arrived at her place to confront the guy. And apparently, one of the brothers had a gun and shot the guy. It sounds like the guy was shot in his back multiple times, right? They're saying numbers like 5 or 7, and he died. And instead of taking the advice that her family shared with her about staying off of social media, Kelsie, because as you've seen on my channel, if you're not familiar with my content, I specifically talk to women who have like this addiction to being in a relationship with a man who is not good for them, a man who's not changing, a man who's abusive, right? So physical abuse is a very extreme version of a toxic relationship. This all falls under the domestic violence. But there are lots of toxic relationships that don't go this far. Sometimes they're with someone who's addicted to something, but not like a drug. Oftentimes that is what's happening, but they're addicted to something else, or they're focused, externalized on something else that's distracting or taking away from the relationship. And the woman is just like, why do you work so much? Why don't you pay attention to me? Why don't you talk to me? Why don't you be nice to me? Why don't you watch it? Right? Just trying to figure out like how to get this guy to do something that he doesn't want to do or doesn't have the capacity to do. I often talk about the whole relationship dynamic on my channel, but I focus more on what the woman is going through because the woman is my ideal client. Like helping women out of these toxic situations is really a goal of mine. Sometimes men find me, but not usually. Y'all find my channel, but you don't like pursue work with me in terms of getting better. So the message is really for Kelsie and women like Kelsie who find themselves in these sort of situations. And for people who think this could happen to anyone, this can't happen to anyone. It literally only happens to people who have a victim mindset, who view themselves as they're supposed to take pain, they're supposed to take whatever a man gives them. They view themselves that way, and so they entertain people who treat them that way. And I am here to disrupt the cycle. I'm here to tell you, you deserve goodness. Do you hear me? You deserve someone who's kind to you, loving to you, who in their anger is not going to lash out at you. My boyfriend has never raised his voice at me. That's very important to me because I am very sensitive to people that raise their voices. I cannot handle it. I cannot. And there's no way I could be in a long-term relationship with a man who raised his voice at me. I was in an abusive relationship when I was in victim mode mentality, when I thought, oh my gosh, I'm just supposed to take whatever, he's giving me, and he loves me so much, and there's no other love like this in the world. It's so special. Girl, it's not. It's not so special. It often feels that way because your motivation is to fill a void inside of yourself. And you think searching for it externally is filling the void. And so you have to hold on to it by any means necessary, but it's not, right? That's not the truth. Filling the void comes from within, from prioritizing yourself, from creating boundaries, telling people no, having new standards for yourself, figuring out what's more important to you other than keeping a man. You have interests, right? How do you pursue those things? Are you financially secure? Do you have an active social life? Are there other hobbies that you need to be focusing on? Other things that will enrich your life that you should be focusing on? That is what I do in the work with women. I want you to figure out, what do you want in life? Not just what will keep you from feeling alone or lonely or sad. I want you to think beyond that. So there are new habits that you have to put in place, and it's different for everyone, right? I try to give like broad ideas about sometimes there's a person you need to say no to. I don't know who that person is in your life. The people that I work with, I get to hear the stories about their mother or their father or their sibling or a friend or somebody who's using them, or just the way they talk about themselves. That's not healthy. Whatever it is for you, you have to figure out, how can I improve my life? But that's something that you're going to have to want, right? Some people like Kelsie will find another relationship very similar to this one, because I heard she was in an abusive relationship before. And oftentimes I get so much pushback about women doing their own work because people on the internet have demonized men so much, and oh, he must be a narcissist, right? Everyone who's abusive in a relationship is not a narcissist. Just because a man hits a woman doesn't make him a narcissist. Like, there are so many other points that need to be made for a person to be a narcissist. Some of the most charming, friendly, giving, helpful people you know are actually narcissistic. I can't diagnose anyone on the internet. I'm just saying, y'all use all these therapy terms incorrectly, and it's not helpful, because are you happy? At the end of the day, if you are happy, then you are getting what you want out of life. But if you're not happy, then you understand that some things need to change. And so pausing to ask yourself, does my life look the way that I want it to look? On the outside, it might look well put together. I look professional, people respect me. But behind closed doors, is it a similar energy where you are at peace and you're happy and everything is going well? Or is it different? Is it darker? Is it, more chaos and drama that happens in your life behind the scenes that people who know you in other settings would be surprised about? If that's the case, I do encourage women to read the book Women Who Love Too Much. It's a book that changed my life. There are lots of different things in my life that have changed, going to therapy, healing my trauma. I've had certain friends travel to certain places, going to Thailand. I'm different because of those things. But particularly this book on this subject changed the way I think about love, relationships, myself. And there are a lot of books out there. I've read a lot of books, and a lot of them are not helpful. I'm thinking of doing another video about codependency, because I very rarely use the word codependency in my work, like in real life with the clients I work with, and in this kind of setting, talking about toxic relationships. I prefer the word toxic. I feel like it's more broad. I think codependency is a much more narrow word to define what happens when people are addicted to alcohol or drugs. Not that it can't apply to other things, but even the books that I respect, I suppose, on codependency, I don't use in therapy, because I don't think in the end they're helpful for helping people apply the concepts to their life. Sure, you can read the books to learn the concepts, but after that, what are you doing that's helping you? And the book Women Who Love Too Much by Robin Norwood does use the word codependency sometimes, and does look at the addiction model for women who are addicted to relationships in a similar way as their husband, partner, whoever is addicted to something else, but it's usually not alcohol or drugs. It's not. It's usually something else that the man is doing, that the woman is trying to get him to fix, or to stop having outbursts, or right, going to work so much, or something like that. He's escaping life in some way, and people in general can do that in so many different ways that I don't like to use the word codependency. That's my little spiel on codependency. But overall, the book, I have another video, and maybe I'll do an update video, because this video is from like 5-6 years ago, of the steps that you need to take to improve your life. They're in the book. They don't have to be in a particular order. One of the things that stood out for me is community. For me, I was doing everything that she listed in the book, but I needed to have community around women who also were going through something similar, or had gotten through something similar. And I did find that. And I'm telling you, changed my life. I'm a different person. I'm literally a different person that I was, I used to say 10 years ago, but it's long more than 10 years now, maybe 15 years ago. I was a different person. And when I look back, because I was recently reflecting on when I used to do a lot of soul searching, and a lot of talking to God, and a lot of journaling, and I used to meditate every day, twice a day. Like, I was in it. I was like, I need to change my life. I need to do things differently. What do I need to do? What do I need to learn? What do I need to expose myself to bring this inner peace? Because I don't like this turmoil that's going on. And I did. Oh my gosh, I did. And my channel, I think, reflects the latter part of that growth, because I had just broken up with my ex when I started making my videos on YouTube. And now, girl, I'm more camera not camera ready. How you say it? I'm more confident in front of the camera. I have a real good sense on my ideal client, my audience, like the actual Black woman who's watching me. And I love you. I do. I care so deeply for you. And I am just rooting for Black women to embrace ease and to have peace and to enjoy life. Like, they just enjoy life. And whether or not you have a boyfriend or a husband, that you find a way to just really make the most of life. I hope. So let me know if you have any questions or comments. Give this video a like if you found it to be helpful. Share it with somebody else that you think may enjoy it. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And thank you for watching.